The concept of nuclear war is undoubtedly one of the most terrifying prospects that humanity faces today. While the idea of a computer program's perspective on this topic may seem intriguing, it is essential to keep in mind that artificial intelligence, AI, is only as good as the information it receives. In the case of nuclear war, the information available to an AI is limited by the fact that it is only as reliable as the data it has access to. Therefore, the following article aims to provide you with a comprehensive guide on what to do before, during, and after a nuclear explosion to increase your chances of survival. Part 1. Before a nuclear explosion. Build an emergency kit. In case of a nuclear explosion, having an emergency kit can make all the difference. The kit should contain enough supplies to last you and your family for at least 72 hours. These supplies should include food, water, first aid kits, flashlights, extra batteries, a portable radio, and a whistle. Additionally, it is advisable to have a gas mask, a change of clothes, and blankets in the kit. Identify the nearest shelter. You should identify the nearest shelter to your home and workplace in advance. A nuclear explosion's initial effects, such as the blast wave and heat, are the most dangerous, and the best way to protect yourself is to seek shelter immediately. A shelter could be a basement, a building with thick concrete walls, or any structure that can protect you from the blast. Have an emergency plan. It is essential to have an emergency plan in place for yourself and your family in case of a nuclear explosion. The plan should include the location of the nearest shelter, a communication plan, and a rendezvous point in case of separation. Practice the plan with your family so that everyone knows what to do in case of an emergency. Stay informed. Stay informed about any nuclear threats in your area. Listen to local news and emergency alerts for updates on any impending danger. Familiarize yourself with the signs of a nuclear attack, such as a bright flash of light, a loud blast, and a mushroom-shaped cloud. Part 2. During a nuclear explosion. Seek shelter immediately. As mentioned earlier, seeking shelter is the best way to protect yourself from a nuclear explosion's initial effects. The blast wave and heat are the most dangerous and can cause severe injuries or death. If you are indoors, go to the basement or the innermost part of the building away from windows, doors, and exterior walls. If you are outside, seek shelter in the nearest building or structure immediately. Close all windows and doors. Close all windows and doors to prevent radioactive particles from entering the building. If possible, seal any gaps with duct tape or other sealants to prevent radioactive particles from seeping in. Turn off ventilation systems. Turn off any ventilation systems to prevent radioactive particles from entering the building through the air ducts. Seal any openings in the ventilation system with duct tape or other sealants. Cover your nose and mouth. Cover your nose and mouth with a cloth or a mask to prevent inhaling radioactive particles. A gas mask is the best option if you have one. Part 3. After a nuclear explosion. Wait for instructions. After a nuclear explosion, wait for instructions from local authorities. Do not leave the shelter until instructed to do so. Check for injuries. Check yourself and others for injuries. Administer first aid if necessary. Stay indoors. Stay indoors as much as possible to avoid exposure to radioactive particles. If you must go outside, wear protective clothing, including a long-sleeved shirt, long pants, gloves, and a hat. Decontaminate. If you have been exposed to radioactive particles, decontaminate yourself as soon as possible. Remove your clothing and wash yourself thoroughly with soap and water. Use a brush to scrub your skin gently. Seek medical attention. If you experience any symptoms of radiation sickness, such as nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea, seek medical attention immediately. Surviving a nuclear explosion requires preparation, knowledge, and quick thinking. The best way to increase your chances of survival is to build an emergency kit, identify the nearest shelter, have an emergency plan, and stay informed. During a nuclear explosion, seek shelter immediately, close all windows and doors, turn off ventilation systems, and cover your nose and mouth. After a nuclear explosion, wait for instructions, check for injuries, stay indoors, listen to local news and emergency alerts, avoid contaminated areas, decontaminate, and seek medical attention if necessary. While the prospect of a nuclear war is terrifying, being prepared and knowing what to do can help you and your loved ones survive.